What if you could trade your mortal soul for eternal youth? What if you could commit any sin, indulge in any vice, and watch the world burn around you, while your face remained as innocent and beautiful as the day you were born? This isn't just a fantasy. It is the terrifying premise of one of the most controversial books ever written. In the next 20 minutes, we are going to peel back the curtain on Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray. You will discover why this novel was used as evidence in a court of law to destroy the author's life, and you will understand the chilling philosophy of aestheticism that suggests art matters more than morality. You might think a book from the 19th century has nothing to do with you, but you would be wrong. In our modern age of Instagram filters, Facetune, and the obsession with curating a perfect public image while hiding our private struggles, Dorian Gray is actually the first influencer. His story is a warning that is more urgent today than it was in 1890. Oscar Wilde was the celebrity of his age, known for his razor-sharp wit and flamboyant style. But beneath the velvet coats and clever jokes lay a deep fascination with the darkness of the human heart. This book wasn't just a story to him, it was a confession. As he famously said, "Basil Hallward is what I think I am, Lord Henry what the world thinks me, Dorian what I would like to be, in other ages perhaps." Our story begins in the London studio of Basil Hallward, an artist who is putting the finishing touches on his masterpiece, a life-sized portrait of a breathtakingly beautiful young man named Dorian Gray. Basil is obsessed with Dorian, seeing him as his artistic muse. But trouble arrives in the form of Lord Henry Wotton, a charming aristocrat with a poisonous worldview. Lord Henry represents the devil on your shoulder. He tells the impressionable Dorian that the only thing worth living for is beauty and the satisfaction of one's senses. He preaches the new hedonism, arguing that conscience is just a word that cowards use to keep the brave in check. Dorian, young and naive, drinks in these words like fine wine. When Dorian sees his finished portrait, he doesn't feel joy, he feels a pang of terror. He realizes that while the painting will remain perfect, he will grow old, wrinkled, and ugly. In a moment of hysterical passion, he makes a wish that changes the universe. He cries out, "If it were I who was to be always young and the picture that was to grow old. For that, I would give everything. I would give my soul for that." Dorian's descent begins with love, or what he thinks is love. He falls for a brilliant young actress named Sybil Vane. But when she performs poorly on stage one night because she is too distracted by her love for him, Dorian's affection instantly evaporates. He ruthlessly breaks her heart, telling her she is nothing to him without her art. Devastated, Sybil takes her own life. Dorian returns home and looks at his portrait. To his horror, the face has changed. There is now a subtle touch of cruelty around the mouth that wasn't there before. He realizes his wish has actually come true. He will bear no physical scars from his sins. The portrait will carry the burden of his shame and his aging. The canvas has become the mirror of his soul. Paranoid that someone will discover his secret, Dorian wraps the painting in a heavy cloth and locks it away in his old schoolroom at the top of his massive house. He keeps the key with him at all times. This is the beginning of his double life. To the world, he is the charming, youthful gentleman. In the attic, his soul is slowly rotting away. Lord Henry sends Dorian a controversial French novel, often referred to as the Yellow Book. This book becomes Dorian's blueprint for a life of decadence. He spends the next 18 years exploring every sensation humanity has to offer. He collects jewels, perfumes, and embroideries, distracting himself with beautiful things while his reputation in London begins to crumble. This is where Wilde attacks Victorian society. Despite the terrible rumors about Dorian ruining the reputations of everyone he touches, society still welcomes him. Why? Because he is beautiful, wealthy, and possesses the face of an angel. It is a scathing critique of how we judge people by their covers rather than their character. As long as he looks the part, his sins are forgiven. Years pass. Dorian is 38 but looks 20. Basil Hallward, the artist, visits him one last time before leaving for Paris. Basil begs Dorian to deny the horrific rumors. He says, "I want to see your soul." Dorian laughs bitterly and takes Basil to the attic. He says, "You shall see the thing that you fancy only God can see." Basil is horrified by the monstrous, aging face on the canvas, yet he recognizes his own brushstrokes. He begs Dorian to pray for forgiveness. Instead, overcome by a sudden, uncontrollable hatred for the creator of this image, Dorian seizes a knife and stabs Basil to death. In that moment, he doesn't just kill a friend. He kills the only voice of conscience he had left. Dorian's calmness after the murder is chilling. He doesn't panic. Instead, he blackmails an old associate, Alan Campbell, a chemist. Using secrets from Campbell's past, Dorian forces him to destroy Basil's body using chemicals. The evidence is erased, but the stain on Dorian's soul deepens. The painting now has a wet, red glint on its hand, the blood of the creator. Dorian cannot handle the guilt. He seeks oblivion in the dark corners of London, visiting opium dens not for the drug itself, but to forget who he is. He craves numbness. It is in these foggy, dimly lit dens that the past finally catches up with him. He is recognized by a woman who calls him Prince Charming, the nickname Sybil Vane used 18 years ago. James Vane, Sybil's brother, overhears the name. He has spent nearly 2 decades searching for the man who drove his sister to suicide. He corners Dorian outside the den, gun in hand. Dorian faces death but uses his cursed youth as a shield. He asks James, "How long ago did your sister die?" When James says 18 years, Dorian steps into the light, revealing the face of a 20-year-old boy. James Vane apologizes, thinking he has the wrong man, and lets Dorian go. But he soon learns the truth and begins stalking Dorian at his country estate. Dorian lives in terror, afraid to leave his house. However, fate intervenes during a shooting party on the grounds. A gun is fired by accident at a moving shape in the bushes. It isn't an animal, it is James Vane, who had been hiding in wait. With his stalker dead, Dorian feels safe, but the guilt is consuming him. He decides he wants to be good. He wants to reverse the corruption of the picture. He tells Lord Henry about a virtuous act he just performed, sparing a young country girl named Hetty Merton from his romantic advances, leaving her innocent. He believes this act of self-sacrifice must have improved the portrait. Dorian rushes upstairs to check the painting, expecting to see the ugly lines soften. Instead, he sees something worse. The face is still loathsome, but now there is a new expression in the eyes: hypocrisy. The painting reveals that his good deed was just vanity. He didn't spare the girl for her sake, he did it to make himself feel better. There is no redemption for him. In a fit of rage, Dorian looks around the room. He sees the knife he used to kill Basil Hallward. He decides to destroy the only evidence of his corrupted life. He believes that by stabbing the painting, he will be free of the past and can start fresh. He raises the knife and plunges it into the canvas with all his might. The servants downstairs hear a terrible cry and the crash of something falling. They are too frightened to move at first. When they finally summon the courage to break down the door, they find a scene that defies explanation. On the wall hangs a magnificent portrait of their master as they last saw him, young, beautiful, and flawless. But lying on the floor is a dead man with a knife in his heart. He is withered, wrinkled, and loathsome of visage. His face is twisted with all the sins of a lifetime. It is only by the rings on his fingers that the servants are able to identify him as Dorian Gray. The transfer is complete. The art survived, the man did not. So, what does this haunting story actually mean? Wilde is exploring the dangerous relationship between art and morality. Lord Henry treats life as art, something to be observed but not felt. Dorian tries to turn himself into a piece of art, unchanging and beautiful. But life requires growth, and growth requires aging and consequences. By denying his mortality, Dorian denied his humanity. The book is also a warning about influence. Lord Henry pours his toxic ideas into Dorian, but never acts on them himself. He observes Dorian like a science experiment. It raises the question, who is more guilty? The man who commits the sin, or the man who plants the seed? Wilde suggests that influence is immoral because it turns a person into an echo of someone else. Ultimately, the picture of Dorian Gray teaches us that we cannot escape ourselves. You can hide your sins from the world, you can use wealth and beauty to mask your character, but you have to live with your own mind. The portrait was just a physical manifestation of his conscience. You can destroy the mirror, but you cannot destroy the reflection without destroying yourself. Oscar Wilde once wrote, "There are only 2 tragedies in life. One is not getting what one wants, and the other is getting it." Dorian Gray got exactly what he wanted, eternal youth, and it was the greatest curse imaginable. It reminds us to embrace our aging, our scars, and our mistakes, for they are the proof that we have truly lived. In a world obsessed with surface-level perfection, Dorian Gray remains the ultimate cautionary tale. It challenges us to look past the beautiful painting we present to the world and ask ourselves, if we had a portrait in our attic that showed who we truly are, would we be able to look at it? Or would we, like Dorian, be terrified of what we see? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the dark world of Oscar Wilde, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We explore the world's greatest books every week. Let us know in the comments. Would you take the deal for eternal youth if it were offered to you? Thanks for watching Book Summaries Repo.